Yogi to this chair yoga class. In this chair yoga class, we're not going to be using our arms. This is a great class if you have injury or condition that prevents you from lifting your arms up overhead. Now, if you can move your arms freely, you're welcome to do this class too. This is suitable for anybody, and I'll give you some options in which you can add extension if that works for you. You don't need any props at all. However, if you have a yoga block, you might choose to use one in one of the poses. So despite us not using our arms, we'll be looking to stretch and strengthen and balance and generally get you moving. And let's begin with our hands resting lightly on the thighs, sitting tall, and close down your eyes. Make sure your posture feels good. And if you tend to hold stress and tension in your shoulders because of injury or pain, see whether you can intentionally relax them, let them soften a little bit, and lengthen the back of your neck. And we'll add some breath in through the nose and out through your nose. In through your nose again. And slowly out. With some movement if you can, lifting your shoulders towards your ears, just a little shrug. This is about the most we'll do with your shoulders. Exhale, soften them down. Elevate the shoulders if you can, lifting them towards your ears. Breathe in, scrunch them up. Exhale, soften them down. Good. A couple more times. Lift them up as you breathe in. Exhale, relax. Inhale, lift them. Exhale, relax them down. Still with the hands on your knees. As you inhale, arch your back. So you'll lift your chest and your chin. When you exhale, round your back. Drop your chin towards your chest and let the middle of the back move towards the chair. Inhale and lift up again. Heart, chin elevated and arch through your whole back. Exhale and round. Inhale and arch. Exhale and round. Two more of these, please. Cat-cows, yogis, seated cat-cows. Inhale, arching, joining your shoulder blades together a bit if you can. Exhale, round, separating your shoulder blades from one another. Inhale, a deep belly breath. Draw your shoulders together on your back. Exhale and round. Good. Come to neutral. And this is your version of side stretch. In our chair yoga, we like to try and move our spine in all of its range of motion. And side stretches can be difficult if you can't lift your hands up overhead or your arms up. Now, if you are able to lift one of your arms or both of your arms, please feel free to do so. If you aren't able to lift your right arm, place your right hand on your shoulder and start the side stretch. You can hold the left hand with your chair and lean over. So you're still stretching into your waist and your ribs here. As I mentioned, if you're able to take your right hand overhead, you can do so right now. Let's breathe into your right side. This is your lateral stretch for your spine. Good job, yogi. Come on up, release your right hand, and same thing on the other side. If you're unable to take your left hand up overhead in any way, place a hand on your chest or across your right collarbone and lean your torso to the right. Bring your right hand to the chair, make sure you're stable. And lean across so that you're stretching into your waist and your ribs and laterally stretching your spine. Another deep breath. And like I said, if you're able to have your hands overhead, you're welcome to do so. Sometimes we just have one shoulder that's frozen or unable to lift. Come back up and release. We'll do the same thing again. Right hand can go overhead if possible, or to your left chest. And lean. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Come back up. Same thing on the other side. Left hand across or overhead if possible. And lean. Come back up to the middle. Rest your hands back on your knees. Now just your neck. Tilt your head over to the right. See how that feels in the left side of your neck. And feel free to move around a little bit. Explore sensations. Sometimes there's a few sounds coming from the neck when we stretch it. That's okay. Breathe. Lift your head up and tilt it to the left. Remember to breathe deeply as you do this. In and out through your nose if you can. Good. And lift your head one more time each side. Tilt to the right. And maybe this time it feels good to drop your chin slightly towards your collarbone. Just change the stretch a little bit. Lift your head up, tilt to the left, and a little drop of your chin towards your chest if that feels good. Lovely, yogi. Come on back up, head to neutral. If you can, cross your right knee over your left. If this is too much for your hips or your knees, you can cross at your ankles. That's also okay. We're going to sit up tall. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee or thigh and start to rotate towards the right. Bring your right hand to the chair behind you if you're able to and look all the way back past your right shoulder. So a twist for your spine now. Keeping this shape in your spine all the way up to the neck, just look forwards past your left shoulder as far as you can. Good. We'll go back towards the right with the head, staying in this twisted shape. And back to neutral. Uncross your right leg from your left and try the same thing on the other side. If you can, left leg over right. But like I mentioned, if the ankle over ankle is better for you, go with that. Sitting up tall, take the right hand to the knee, outer thigh, left hand as far behind you as you can, and start to rotate to the left, looking back. And breathe. And look forwards over your right shoulder. Doing great, yogi. Look back over the left shoulder. And back to neutral. Uncross your legs. One more time with that twist. Right leg over left, left hand to right knee, and twist. And if you need to cross your ankles, of course, that's fine. Looking as far back as you can. Look forwards. So we're doubling up here, yogis, both axial extension of the spine and rotation of your spine. Look back, but also then this side to side in the neck as well, the rotation of your neck, coming back to the middle. Uncross. And cross your left over your right or your ankle over your right. Take your right hand to the left knee or thigh and rotate to the left, looking all the way back. Explore the range of motion in your neck. Look forwards. Ease it up a little bit. And look backwards. Good job, yogi. Unravel back to the front. We'll take a forward fold. And so for some, if reaching even forwards is quite difficult, you might choose to prop up on your elbows. You can widen your knees a bit to give you some room here. And if this is your forward fold, just let your back relax and let your head soften down a little bit. Now, if you're comfortable here, I mentioned you could use a block. This might be where you choose to use one place and a block under the hands, or you could reach for the floor. And just let yourself relax here. We'll take a few deep breaths. If you could take your breath all the way down your spine into your low back. And slowly out. A couple more of those, please. Deep breath in. Long breath out. In through the nose. Slowly out through your nose. Carefully start to come back up. Perhaps you'll use your elbows to help you up a little bit. Wiggle your feet in under you and sit all the way up. We'll start to get you moving a little bit more now. If you'd like to get your heels underneath you, make sure that your chair is on something that won't slide. So mine's on my yoga mat. It stops it from sliding like it would on the floor. If you can do the same, that'd be great. Okay, heels underneath you. Hands can rest on a prayer position, nice and low down under your chest. We're going to stand up. Press into your feet. Stand all the way up. Breathe in. And exhale, sit down as softly as you can. Now you might need to, for confidence, put a hand to the chair, make sure it's there, and slowly sit your way down. Let's do that a few more times. Push through your feet, stand up, breathe in. Good. Exhale, sit your way down, nice and slow. You can use a hand to help you. And try to slow the descent. So we're aiming to not bump down over time. If you bump right now, that's okay. Stand up. The more you practice, the less you'll find you need to bump down that last bit. Slowly sit, slowly sit. Not reaching back if you can help it. I've got a squeaky chair, excuse me. We'll come back up. And sit back down, nice and easy. Take your time, land lightly. Good. One more time, please, yogi. Stand up, nice and strong. And sit your way down. Very good. So we did 5 of those. If you have a little extra time, you might even pause the video and do about 5 more today to get a good amount of stand and sits in. Stand your way up. If you'd like to continue with me, let's carry on. Now to some warriors. So bring your chair in front of you. So you'll be stood behind your chair with the chair top within hand's distance so that you've got it there for stability. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me, but you don't need to rotate this way. So from here, you'll step your right foot back. We're going to bend the front knee and your right toes point to about 1 o'clock. Turn your chest towards the chair. Your left knee is over your ankle. And if you'd like to hold on to the chair for balance, you may continue to do so. If you feel comfortable, you could bring perhaps just the right hand or even the right hand and the left hand in front of you in a prayer position. This is another opportunity that if your arms, one or both arms, are fine with reaching overhead, you could take them up if you wanted to. Hold here, breathe in. As you exhale, straighten that front leg. With long spine, start to tilt your pelvis forwards and fold towards a chair. Inhale, bend your front knee, lift your hands back to prayer if you're able to let go of a chair. Exhale, straighten out the leg and bow forwards. Inhale, warrior 1, hands to prayer. Exhale, straighten out, bowing forwards. 2 more times, bend your knee, upright your chest. And bow down, use the chair for stability, both legs straight. Last one, rise back up, warrior 1, pause. And exhale, hands to the chair, straighten your left leg. And we'll bow and pause here for a little longer to stretch your hamstring. You can keep your hands on the chair. You could put your forearms on the chair. You could even use the chair a little bit lower down if you have a bit more availability of space, a bit more flexibility, should I say, in your left leg. Keep your tailbone tilting up so your back's not rounding. Keep the back of your neck long. And so you'll be looking at the seat of a chair or slightly in front of it if you're higher up. Good. Walk your way back up the chair if you went down a little lower. Bend your front knee, step forwards. That's it. Same thing on the other side. Step your left foot back and plant that heel down so that the left toes point to about 11 o'clock. Right knee bends. Get your balance. Now, if you're comfortable keeping one hand on the chair, your left-handed lift up. If you're okay with both hands off of a chair, bring your right hand up too. And like I mentioned, if one or both of your shoulders are okay lifting up overhead, go ahead and do so. Allow yourself that range of motion. Breathe in. As you exhale, hands to the chair, long spine, straighten the front leg and fold forwards. Bend your front knee, right knee bends, hands to prayer, warrior 1, inhale. Pyramid pose, hands to the chair, straighten the leg, bow down. Exhale into that. 3 more times, bend your knee, inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the chair, start to straighten and fold. It doesn't have to be super deep as you're doing this. We're just getting the legs to warm up a little bit. Bend your knee, hands to chair, prayer. Exhale into the chair and fold. Good. Bend your knee. Hold in your warrior 1 for a moment longer. Roll your shoulders back a little bit if you can. Feel like you've got good posture in your torso and firm your belly. And we'll bring your hands to the chair and hold in pyramid a little longer to stretch your hamstring now that we've bent and straightened the knee a few times. Fold forwards, keep your spine nice and long. Forearms can be on the top of a chair. You could have your hands there, or you can reach further down the chair if that feels good. Prioritize keeping your spine long rather than getting really close to the floor. A couple more breaths here. Nice full breaths in and out through your nose. Well done, Yogi. Come on up, bend your front knee a little, walk your hands up the top of a chair and step your way forwards. Good. I'm going to turn forwards to you once again. Bring your chair out to your left-hand side. And so again, making sure there's a couple of your chair legs on your mat if you've got a mat there to stop it from sliding. Just generally making sure the chair won't slide away from you. Stand up with good posture. Okay, for a start, ankle strengthening. So it's hard to keep a reach on the chair sometimes with this, but you'll be fine. Lift up to your toes as high as you can. Good, and soften down. Do that a couple of times. Lift up high and soften down. This is strengthening the ankles, feet, and calves. Inhale, lift up high, and exhale, soften down. Well done. Now imagine you're stood on a clock face. Left hand holding your chair. Lift your right foot and point your toes to 12 on a clock. Bring the foot back in under you. Tap the floor lightly or hover it. Take your foot back to 6. Good. And back in next to the left foot. Take your right foot now up to 3 on a clock. Straight out to the side. And back in. Try to 1 on a clock. Point your toes there, tap, and bring it back in. Good. 5 on the clock. Back and right. That's it. And back in. 2 on your clock. Out to the side. And back in. And finally 4. Out. And back in. Good. Lift that right knee in front of you as high as you're able to and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Place your foot down. Take a deep breath. Sigh it out. Make sure you're standing again with good posture. Roll that right knee out to the right. Turn the right foot out to the right and place your toes on the mat with the heel on your ankle. If you'd like to lift the foot up to your calf, you may, and find your tree pose. Just a reminder, if your one or both arms are able to go overhead, you might grow up tall with the hands overhead too, but you're welcome to keep them low. You're welcome to keep a hold of a chair. We'll hold for 3. Keep your left leg strong, glute strong, quad strong. 2. Crown lifting up, back of the neck long. And 1. Great job, Yogi. Release your right foot and we'll move a chair over to your right side. So again, make sure there's a couple of chair legs on your mat. Get yourself positioned with good posture. And we'll lift and lower. Heels rise up as high as you can and then softly down with control if possible. We'll lift it up again, up to your tiptoes and back down. This is really good to strengthen the calves, which is good for recirculation of your blood from your legs back up to your heart. As you inhale, lift up high, and as you exhale, soften down. Great job. Again, imagining that you're standing in the middle of a clock face. Take your left leg, go straight forwards to 12. Bring it back in and either hover or tap, and back to 6. Good. Into the middle, to 9, out to the side, and back in. 11, and back in. 7, you're making me think, and back in. Good. 10, and in, and 8. Good. Back in. Lift your knees straight up in front of you as high as you're able to and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Place your foot down. Take a deep breath. Exhale it out, sigh. Good. Placing all of the weight in your right foot. Turn your left toes and knee out to the side. You can keep your toes on the ground with your heel on your calf, or your ankle, should I say, or you can lift the foot up if you wish. An opportunity to stretch your hands up overhead if that feels good and it's possible, but hands down and low is also perfect. Standing tall, squeeze your right glute into the middle. Focus on something that's not moving in front of you, so a steady, soft gaze can help. Keeping the right leg firm, belly firm, shoulders onto your back, but not tense. If you feel them scrunching up with tension, relax them down. Great job, yogi. Carefully release. Foot back to the earth. Good job. Come back to a seat. Make our way into a hip stretch. So just as we did before, you can take a gentler stretch if you need to. If you're able to, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Like I said, if this isn't possible, you could cross at the knee or you can cross at the ankle. Both of those are great alternatives is the word I was looking for there. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Sit up tall. That's it. Start to lean forwards a little bit, keeping your spine long. And take some deep breaths. You should have no pain in your knee when you're doing this. So if you feel any twisting or pulling in the knee, come to one of those other variations. Again, leaning forwards in those, or gently stretch your hips. It may not feel as big a stretch, but that's okay. Take 2 more deep breaths. In through the nose. Slowly out. Great. Come on out, leaning, sitting up. Uncross your right ankle. And take your left ankle over your right knee. Just like I mentioned before, if this doesn't feel good to you, you can cross knee over knee or ankle over ankle. Find a position that works for your knees and your hips. Sit up tall, lift your chest up, draw your shoulders onto your back, relax them down. If you're holding tension in them, soften them down. Lean forwards a little bit until you feel a stretch. Breathe deeply. Two more full breaths. Carefully rise back up, uncross. So if you need to switch your knees a little bit, make sure they feel all okay in your hips and your legs, and then shimmy on back to a seat. If you're able to lie on the floor, perhaps you'll take a little longer Savasana today. If not, if you'd like to join me, sit back on your chair, rest your hands, palms up in your lap. Play around a little bit with the positioning of your head, make sure that the neck is neutral, and close your eyes. Let your feet relax, your lower legs relax. Let your thighs and glutes relax. Soften your belly, your ribs, especially your shoulders. Relaxing all the way down your arms to your fingertips. Let go of any tension you've got in your jaw and your face. Relax your eyes behind your closed eyelids so they can get still. And breathe naturally. There's no need to have deep breaths now. If possible, still in and out through your nose though. Let yourself rest a few moments. Let all of your practice soak in. Need a little longer to rest, press pause and just restart when you're ready to continue. If you're ready to move on with your day or your evening, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe scrunch up your hands, open them up, deepen your breath. Hands on the knees, lift your chest up, big breath in, almost like you're arching your back again. And relax to neutral as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Preposition or namaskar. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today. And together, let's take a full breath. Breathing in and out. Thank you for your practice, yogi. Namaste.